Hey everybody, welcome back to afbragginsweddings and events, quarantine pairing classes, or as they're better well known, day drinking with Bilbo. I told you guys yesterday that I had a huge surprise for you today for the Martinis and apple tasting, and here she is. Please welcome our guest taster, my wife and assistant and all-around great person, Alyssa.
Hi guys. So
today we are doing Martinis and apples. We've got 3 different apples to taste here. This one is a Gala, a Fuji, and then a Granny Smith. Mm-hmm. You guys can see there. So this class is going to be a little longer than you guys are used to because A, I've got a second person tasting, but B, in addition to 3 alcohols, we have 3 foods. So our 3 alcohols, we're going to go through them real quick. We're doing just a normal martini, your basic gin and vermouth martini. And let me get my little notes up here. So the martini was created in the 1860s in San Francisco, and basically it uses gin, right here, 6 parts gin, 1 part vermouth. If you order your martini extra dry, they leave the vermouth out. You're basically just drinking gin. My grandmother used to order martinis, and she would say, make it really extra dry. And what she meant was she would like them to take the vermouth and just take the lid off of it and go like this near the bottle of gin, right? So no actual vermouth went in there. So that's your standard martini. That's going to be drinking today in this tall glass here. But look at that gorgeous drink right there. Isn't that beautiful? Our second one is going to be one of my favorite martinis, which is the dirty martini. That's in this little guy here. You can see 2 little olives in there. I don't think Alyssa's quite as excited about that as I am. So, you take your basic martini with the 6-to-1 ratio on the gin and vermouth, and all you do is you add 1 part brine from a jar of olives. Delicious. I absolutely love it. So, the dirty martini was invented in 1901 in New York, if you care about that kind of stuff. Our third drink today is an appletini. Green, and Alyssa's very excited about that one. This one was actually invented sometime in the late 80s in Hollywood. Nobody actually knows when it was invented. But it's 3 parts vodka, not gin, to 2 parts of whatever your appletini mix is. Now, if you're making it at home, you're probably going to put things like apple pucker in there and some lemon juice and some orange liqueur and stuff like that. But for our purposes, we're using a pre-made appletini mix here. So it's 2 ounces of your appletini mix to 3 ounces of vodka. Now, why did we say vodka instead of gin? So a traditional martini is made with gin. You can also go at any time to any bar and say, I'd like a vodka martini, and they're going to make it for you. I don't know why you would do that, though. Vodka doesn't have a flavor to it, which is why we use it when we're talking about fruity martinis, because we want to taste the fruit. That's why you're ordering a Cosmopolitan. You want that fruity flavor. That's why you're ordering an appletini. You're looking for apple. You don't like the taste of alcohol. Vodka is your alcohol of choice. So today I want to highlight for you California Distillery in Temecula, California. We've been there, 2-3 times now? Mm-hmm. We love them down there. They do vodka, they do bourbon. Moonshine. It's so good, too. So good. But it's a local distillery in Temecula, California, and I want to highlight them today because I do love them, and I highly recommend you make a trip down there once all this quarantine business is over. So, Alyssa, you got your water?
I do.
And I've got my water. So, real quick, when we're doing this apple tray thing, I might refer to it as charcuterie throughout the day. Charcuterie used to mean just this, cured meats. That's where the word charcuterie comes from. But over the years, as wine tasting rooms got more and more popular, charcuterie became more of things that taste good to make your wine drinking experience better. So it might be this. It could be some cheese. Hell, it might even be some olives, you don't know, but apples definitely qualify, and you'll often find fruits like apples and grapes on your charcuterie boards. This is actually a charcuterie board that I'm serving this on. So, the way we go for Alyssa, who hasn't been involved with the previous tastings, although she does participate in all of my tasting and pairing classes, is we're going to take a sip of the beverage first, then we're going to eat a bite of the food, then we're going to take a sip of the beverage again, we'll rinse between tastes, and this is going to be intense because we have to do drink apple, second drink apple, third drink apple, and then go to the next apple. So we're doing 9 total pairings today. So strap in, this one's a little long. If you need to press pause to go get your various drinks and your apples ready, please do that, and then come on back and press play. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the standard martini. I love martinis, I gotta tell you. It's just a classy drink. And what are we starting with? This was the Gala apple, right? Oh.
Switch you.
Wow. Interesting. I won't say anything until you bite. But Gala apples, for your reference, are about as close to a Millie apple as I like to get. I hate Red Delicious apples, guys. They are absolutely terrible in my opinion. I don't like the Millie gross, icky apple. I want to have bite. So Gala's about as close as I get to that Millie. What do you think? I'll let you go first. What do you think about that?
It definitely added like a fruitiness to the...
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
Gin, you can definitely get like apple, so it's almost like an apple teeny without adding all that extra.
Without being that punch sour grossness in your face.
So good.
Yeah, that was really good. So normally, I guess we have to rinse now because we're switching apples, even though we're doing the same drink. So remember, always have water on you. Quick little sip just to wash down any of that previous beverage, and you're good to go. So our next one that we're going to pair with the Gala is this Dirty Martini, my favorite. I like salt and olive yumminess. And we're going to go with the same Gala apple now.
Ooh, salty.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to let her get that sip first before I say the words because I'm worried she won't drink it. See her face? Okay, that's not my favorite pairing. The saltiness that's in the brine that makes a Dirty Martini wonderful and a Gala apple is not a combination I'm interested in. I will drink a Dirty Martini all day long. It used to be my drink of choice. I would go to a bar, I'd order a Dirty Martini. This was before I discovered the amazingness that is whiskey. Dirty Martinis all day, and I wanted extra dirty. Pour an extra half ounce of the olive brine in there, and then throw 15 or 20 olives in the glass too. I don't care. Bring it out in a tub. But not with a Gala apple ever again. Now, that being said, that Dirty Martini is going to go deliciously with those meats and cheeses that I showed you earlier. Because salt and salty cured meats is a great combination. We need to rinse now before our final pairing with the Gala apple. Normally I've been trying to keep these between 10 and 12 minutes, but today it's probably going to go 20-25 minutes because we're both tasting and we're doing so many pairings. So, moving on to what Alyssa's really looking forward to, the Appletini. Appletini is a martini for people that don't like martinis. Okay? It's fruit. It's fruit, juicy, flavor. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but if you like alcohol, then you're not ordering an Appletini. You're ordering a Dirty Martini or a Gin Martini. If you are drinking because you're a social drinker, you're hanging out with friends and you want to be a part of the crowd and you want to hang out and have a good time and get that little bit of buzz on, but you cannot stand the taste of alcohol, this is your drink of choice. You're going to Appletini, Cosmopolitan, somewhere in that realm. You know, that mix actually is not that bad. That is not nearly as punch you in the face as I thought that was going to be. We'll see how it goes with our Gala apple. You can go first. Go ahead. I can tell this is going to do something strange on my palate. So, my thought, and you can agree or disagree, a Gala apple's kind of plain. And the Appletini's kind of sugary. But when I put those two together, I feel like I got this nice meld. It brought more of the Gala, like more apple flavor out of the Gala apple and took down some of that sugar
I would agree.
feeling. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same plate with that. That actually, well, damn. Okay, out of those three, what was your favorite?
I personally liked the dry one.
The normal straight gin martini with the...
Yeah,
okay.
It really added something to the gin or to the drink.
Right. I agree with you that it adds something, but oddly, I'm going to go completely off my normal base here and say I actually like the Appletini with the Gala. I know, right? I hate sweet drinks, guys. I was talking with my brother the other day. He finally had discovered Screwball whiskey, which is a peanut butter whiskey. This one can't get enough of. It's a local distillery down in San Diego, California. It's not a terrible peanut butter liqueur, as my brother put it, but it is not a good whiskey. I like whiskey. I like the taste of alcohol. So for me to say that Appletini was my favorite is wow, that's just weird. Okay, what are we going on to? Fuji apple. Now, this is one of my favorite red apples. I drank. I can move on. Okay, we're good. This is one of my favorite red apples, the Fuji. So we're going back to that dry martini, just your standard gin vermouth combination. I really like the flavor of those. So we talked a little bit about gin a couple episodes ago and how it's perfumey, and it's because of that beautiful herb that goes into gin. And interestingly enough, I feel like it got more perfumey with this apple. Like you're getting so much more of that juniper. That's so weird to me because I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I didn't do that with the first apple.
I'm going back for round 2. I'm sorry. I'm taking one more bite of this one.
But yeah, I would agree. It brought out the juniper. I didn't taste any apple.
If you like a martini, pair it with the Fuji apple. Because that was such an interesting thing. That martini became more martini with that apple in her mouth. Wow. So guys, I talked about in yesterday's episode, this is kind of a sneak peek for you about what we do when we're actually putting full pairing classes together. Oftentimes I'll be like, hey Alyssa, try this. Do you think this goes together? And oftentimes she'll say yes, but some of the time she saves you guys. Because she goes, what are you on? Like, that doesn't taste good. You're crazy. Don't put this on the menu for the pairing class. So you have her to thank when your entire pairing menu is delicious.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And like I said before, with those pairing classes, you're normally getting 5 different alcohols with 5 different courses. A whole lecture. You can ask questions. It's very interactive. She does all the work. Pardon me. She does all the work. She runs around while I just sit here and talk to you guys. She's pouring and giving you guys water and extra napkins and serving the drinks and serving the food, and I just sit there and chat. So please, if you ever come to a future pairing class, make sure you tip this one because she really does do all the work. I couldn't do those pairing classes without her.
No.
I know. Dirty Martini onto Fuji.
Yeah.
Man, I love a dirty martini. That was so good, guys. Even if you're not doing the pairing class and you're just watching this for fun, go make yourself a dirty martini because that is a great drink. I know Alyssa's not a huge fan. She's not a salty. I'll eat pickles and tomatoes with salt and olives just out of a bowl. That'll be a midnight snack for me. She's not so much that route. I'm going to let you drink before I say it, but sneak peek, better than the last pairing. I don't know why the Gala destroyed it so much. The Fuji doesn't. I'm not saying it's the best pairing.
It's not bad, though.
But that was definitely an edible pairing.
It doesn't really do much to the
They kind of canceled each other out, right? Like, you were drinking a dirty martini and you were eating an apple, but they didn't do anything for each other. But the important thing is they didn't hate each other. Like, the previous one was terrible. When we did that dirty martini with the Gala, that was a pairing I would never recommend in the future. But not the worst thing I've had. Remember, always rinsing? Plus, water's good for you, so drink it anyway. Moving on to the apple martini, or appletini, with our Fuji apple. It's so sweet for me. You know, I preferred the Gala with the appletini, but that is darn tasty. That's so interesting. We did two different apples that are often compared. You know, if you went to a grocery store or a farmer's market, you said, "Hey, I like Gala apples, but you don't have any. What do you have?" They're gonna say, "Grab a Fuji." And likewise, if you say, "I like Fuji's," and what you don't have any, what do you have? They're gonna say, "Grab a Gala." You would think those flavor profiles would have been closer together, but they're not. Mm-mm. That was good, but not as good as the Gala was. I feel like.
I don't know why.
So, what was your favorite of the three with our Fuji apple?
I think I'm actually gonna go with the. Actually, I kind of want to go with the dirty martini because it didn't affect anything. So if I'm eating something, I don't want my drink to be affected by what I'm eating too much. That was a decent pairing. That's
an important note that she just gave there. So sometimes these pairing classes are all about what goes with what, but sometimes you don't want it to go. You're trying to put food in, maybe you're out drinking and you're at a party or something, and you just need something to soak up some of that booze. That was a great way to do that. Yeah. I agree with that statement. It didn't really do anything on the palate. It didn't conflict with each other, but it didn't add anything either. I think my favorite of the three was probably the standard, just a normal gin martini, because that did do a little something on my palate.
Right.
And I think if I was going to create a pairing class around that would be the combo I would go with. I'm so excited for the next one, guys. I can't tell you. Granny Smith apples are my favorite apple. And I know that's probably an unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people don't dig that sour bite that Granny Smiths give you, but I love it. So we're going to start with our standard gin martini. It's almost gone. We're going to be out. I'm so sad. We're going to take our lovely Granny Smith apple, one of my favorite apples. I'm going to let you drink first before I talk. By the way, we're inside today because the rain came a day early. What do you think about that one?
I liked it. I don't think it did too much to it. Like, I definitely still tasted the dryness of that.
Well, on what you did, it didn't do too much for it, but what it did for me was it reminded me of a pickle. Because a pickle takes something... let's talk about homemade pickles real quick. Typically, you slice up a cucumber, you're going to put it in a brine of some kind, and you're going to throw maybe some dill, some garlic... and some salt in there, really. That's your basic pickle. So gin is very herbaceous, like dill is. Dill's one of my favorite herbs, guys. And then you have this sour that you're getting off that Granny Smith. And the two of those together created almost a brine in my mouth, like a pickle brine in my mouth. Okay. I don't know that I would want to sit at a table and just eat Granny Smith apples and drink a dry martini, but I agree with you that it didn't do too much to it, but it did enough that it's a memorable beverage. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that one further after filming's done. Moving on to the dirty martini. Now, I'm a big fan of salty and sour, so a Granny Smith apple with a dirty martini, I feel like it's going to be right up my palate. Man, that's good. She's not going to like it. You saw her face, folks. That was one of my favorite combos of the day so far. Wow. Sweet and sour, or salty and sour is I guess it's maybe an acquired taste.
Yeah, that combination actually really brought out the salty. Like, it tasted so much saltier after
I agree.
eating that apple.
I agree, but again, I like salt.
Right.
Like, it was like eating those little pickles that your grandma used to put on the veggie platters at the Thanksgiving dinner. Gherkins. Gherkins. That was great for me. I know you didn't care for it, but that was phenomenal for me. I love that. Again, acquired taste. And when we do these pairing classes, like in real life, in-person pairing classes, I always tell people, you're not going to like everything you have today, but you're going to have a good time and you're going to learn some stuff. And it's okay not to like it. I encourage them to argue with me because they're educating me as much as I'm educating them, because my palate's different than Alyssa's palate, and that's different than all of your palates. We're all different people, so I like Granny Smith apples and dirty martinis. Alyssa doesn't. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you'd add more of the olive brine to your dirty martini, and maybe that does something too. We don't know. It's okay not to like everything you're told to like. One of my biggest notes at one of these pairing classes is that, so there's this when you go to a wine restaurant, or a restaurant that's a steakhouse that serves wine, you get a sommelier that comes to your table and they recommend a wine based on their knowledge of all the wines in the world and all the steaks and how they go together. It's okay not to agree with them, please. You don't always have to want to have a deep tanniny red wine with a bloody red steak. You can drink a sweet white wine with a red steak. You can have a vodka martini or a gin martini or an appletini with your red steak. It matters what goes good in your palate. So because I enjoyed that and Alyssa didn't, I might enjoy a dirty martini when we're snacking on an apple. She might prefer what we're about to go to, which is the appletini. And that's okay. We can have different opinions on this, yes? So please, don't ever let a sommelier or someone like me that teaches pairing classes tell you that you're wrong, because you're not. It's your own palate. It's whatever the hell you feel like drinking. Enjoy. She laughs at me often when I say that, because I'm very passionate about it. I hate it when people expect you to just be on top of the trend that is.
So that brought out the sourness of that apple.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as you bit into that apple, it was just like, bam, right in your face. But when you took another sip, it actually mellowed out a lot.
100%.
So it was a very roller coaster tasting.
That's a perfect way of putting it. It was a roller coaster ride of flavor explosion. I hate to be Guy Fieri, but welcome to Flavor Town. That was actually really good, though. I know you're not a huge Granny Smith person, but out of the three, what'd you like the best? Our dry martini, our dirty martini, or our appletini?
I'm gonna have to go with the dry.
Really? Why?
Since it didn't do... I'm trying to remember my tasting now. I don't even remember it now.
Rinse and do it again.
Yeah.
We got a little bit left here.
The appletini, I enjoyed the second sip, but not necessarily the first bite of apple. Or else I would have said the appletini.
That's actually a reasonable statement. I approve that. Go back to this one and do it again. While she's doing that, my favorite was actually the appletini. Oddly, again, that's twice today I've said the sweetest martini was my favorite. While I thoroughly enjoyed the salt and sweet of the dirty martini and the Granny Smith apple, that second sip of appletini, you're right, after the bite of Granny Smith, was just this mellow, yummy flavor explosion. And I know that I'm going to get a good buzz off of it.
And so I was right. My original thought was that this one brought out the juniper.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to have to jump on that.
The dryness, because as you mentioned, it was very perfumey. I love the juniper in gin. I love gin. Gin and tonics are my favorite thing ever. So that actually was really, really good. And it really brought out that floral earthiness that I love about gin.
Mm-hmm. I got exactly as you were saying that. I was feeling it. I was on that ride with you. Wow. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed your 3 martinis with 3 different apples. I hope you're enjoying these classes, guys, because for me at least, man, I'm bored in quarantine, guys. I can't go do weddings. I can't go do events. I can't go teach a pairing class. I was supposed to do lighting design for 2 high school productions in the next month, and they both obviously canceled for good reason. And this is fun for me, so I hope you're having a good time. I hope you enjoy hanging out and drinking with me in the middle of the day and trying new foods. I hope you like that Alyssa joined us today. She actually works from home right now, thankfully. So I had to wait till Saturday to do the pairing with her, which is why this class got postponed. But thank you for being here. Thank you for watching and sticking around. Wow, we're at 26 minutes already. We're already more than double the time of the normal video pairing class, the quarantine pairing classes. But thank you so much for being here. As always, there's a link down below in the description. If you want to throw $5 my way for teaching these fun classes, then please feel free to do so. There's a Venmo and a Google Pay link down below. If you want to book an actual pairing class, a real life pairing class, which will be 5 courses, 5 different beverages, private in your home, you can invite 15, 20 friends, whatever you want. Please do that now. Support your local small businesses in the future by buying gift cards or things like that, or booking, in my case, booking future events. I appreciate it. We're all in this together. So as always, I remind you, please remember to wash those hands, stay 6 feet away from other people, and if you can avoid going out, just stay home. You've got booze, drink it, have a good time, enjoy your weekend at home, spend time with your kids, your family, whatever you want to do, pet your cat, film stupid videos like this. But please, let's get through this together, and let's come out better people on the other end, yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks so much to Alyssa for joining us today. Maybe in the future I'll get her back for another one. We'll see. I do have 4 or 5 classes, I think, left on the docket that we've already kind of created for you guys. So we'll see where we go from here. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day. You got anything you want to finish with?
Nope. See you next time.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.